Not all paranormal investigators understand how to work with the dead, but as a death witch, I understand it well. I'm Nicole Nightfall, and since early childhood, I've been mastering how to work with and speak with the dead, and now I'm documenting it all.
It was like literally a person standing right there.
Join me as I explore well-known and even unknown locations by myself or with carefully selected teams, including seasoned paranormal investigators, seasoned practitioners, and even new ones, as they have their first experiences with ghosts. What you won't hear from many paranormal investigators, especially ones like myself that are sensitive, if you want to call it that, is how spirits from certain locations sometimes don't leave you. I want to talk to you about Richard Biegnenwald. As a young child, Biegnenwald was beat often by his alcoholic father, and at the age of only 5, he set fire to their home. At age 9, he underwent electroshock therapy at New York's Bellevue Psychiatric Hospital. As a multi-generational New Yorker myself, I have my own family ties to this hospital, which I might bring up at a later time, but for now this might be why this spirit was so connected to me. But a lot of these unconventional treatments were happening often, and at such a young age, I can only imagine what this already did to a troubled child. And when his electroshock treatments 2 to 3 times a week didn't work, they sent him here. This reformatory school for boys was meant to take troubled youths and teach them farming skills, woodworking skills, but Richard wanted nothing to do with that. And while he was here, he was notoriously known as one of their biggest troublemakers. He'd cause riots, he would steal things, cause fights. And at age 11, when he went home on break, he set himself on fire. And not that much later on in life, Richard Biegnenwald would go on to commit some very gruesome crimes against others. From assaults against women of a sexual nature to murders, Biegnenwald was soon known as the Thrill Killer, or the Jersey Shore Thrill Killer, one of America's serial killers. I've been to this location many times, and though it looks different from the photograph I showed previously, what started off as a training school for boys, then a reformatory school, and then a correctional facility, has housed many violent and troubled individuals. This building shut its doors in 2011, and in my opinion, Richard hasn't left. And he's not the only one. For this investigation, I have some first-timers with me. It's only 4 of us, all women, locked inside this facility that is no longer operational. Those of you familiar with paranormal investigating can already see where I'm going with this. In this facility that only housed boys and men throughout its entire operation, women being here in their space, asking questions, asking to interact, will probably trigger some interesting responses. And it did.
Are you here? We're at the stage.
We started in the pitch dark on the stage, and I broke in the newbies early by getting the REM pod to set off. And if you're a paranormal investigator and you do this often, you know that sometimes amazing things happen when you're there in person and you record and technology fails you. We had 2 camcorders going. One I was holding and one Jessie was holding. Now, to Jessie's credit, she is not a filmmaker. This is her first time holding a camcorder like this and doing any of this. So her footage is a little bit all over the place, but that's by no fault of her own. She's new. As for me, I had looked down at my camera and made sure it was recording when the REM pod went off in direct response to my question, asking for them to interact with the red light on it. And when playing back this footage that Jessie captured, you can hear us, even though we're muffled, asking the questions and responding to it going off. And you don't hear the familiar blaring beeping sound that a REM pod makes.
Can you come down here and touch the red light, please? On the stage? We're down here. And the fact it's not changing the color on the light.
That's
weird.
weird.
I've never seen it do that before.
As frustrating as this was to miss this, it's a common occurrence in this field, whether it's because you're too overwhelmed or overstimulated with everything going on, or the equipment does fail you. This was a perfect instance, but the fact there was absolutely no sound recorded beeping from that REM pod is beyond me. I don't know why that happened, and I was so excited it did and just disappointed I can't show it to you all. That intelligent response happened within minutes of us being there, but after we didn't get any more responses and we carried on that creeped out feeling, I decided to take them to one of the most active spots that I've been to the last 2 times I was here, and that's what some have called the demonic tunnel. And while I don't vouch or agree with any demons being in that tunnel, there's definitely some very intense spirits and what I believe to be some sort of energy vortex or maybe even a portal. While I can't confirm that and have not experienced enough down at the end of this tunnel to know, I can tell you my previous times here, this door, this heavy metal door that I'm showing you right now has moved on its own.
The door's moving.
And this footage here is me traveling down the tunnel and getting insanely intelligent responses from the Phasma box.
Witchy, thank you. I think that's a compliment. Can you hear us? Did you hear a dog barking?
Yes.
I'm still hearing it. Okay. Can we cross this point or no? Come with me.
Neat.
I'm gonna cross, okay? Trust me? Well, when you say it like that.
Those clips can be found on my Instagram and TikTok account, but I wanted to add them as a frame of reference. It may seem like I cut that off before it got good, but we had to leave. Our time was up at Mid-Orange Correctional Facility for that visit, but now we're back. On this venture, I didn't head into the tunnel because it's dangerous. There's asbestos exposure, not to mention a little bit of flooding, and I did not bring my rain boots. I wasn't trying to force anybody to go down this tunnel, but what I wanted to try to do was to see if anything would come out.
Me, so don't get too scared. So, I mean, there might be, we don't know. It'd be a great place to hide one, right? So down here, and I won't be walking down there only because of asbestos, but that's what has been referred to as the demonic tunnel, because there's something down there that is not friendly.
It's just like if you look down there, it looks foggy. Like when you look all the way down.
It's making me lightheaded. Just like
Yeah. So what I would like to do is, I'm not going to go down there because the only thing holding me back is the asbestos. I'm not going to lie. I want to do a spirit box session in here, and I'm going to put the REM pod just a little bit in. I mean, it might not go off, it might not because of all the electric. Oh, there we go. All right. Is there anybody here?
Great.
Hello? Can you come down the tunnel, please? Victoria wants to meet you.
Sure.
If you're really down there, can you show yourself?
Turn off the light or turn on the light?
That's why I kind of went.
This is not the first time I've heard this request from the spirits down this tunnel. They do not like the light, and I was hearing it in my head before it came through the spirit box, and Victoria confirmed. So I obliged.
Is that better? We can't come down there, so you're going to have to come to us, please. How many of you are down there? Is anybody here prone to epilepsy? Because I'm going to do something with my light, so that's why I'm asking. Okay. Can you see us? I know, I'm waiting, hold on. I was told to wait. Oh, I don't know why it's doing that color.
This is a technique I do often to see if spirits can pull from the light to manifest their own.
Can you see us?
And just to clarify, this orb, this light you're seeing is from the REM pod.
For example,
For those of you who don't know me, I'm also a psychic channel, which means I get spirits sometimes on top of the equipment. And I was picking up on a younger female who was deeply religious and possibly a victim of somebody who stayed here. And I felt like she was a nurse.
Is there a nurse down here?
And as soon as I asked that question, the temperature dropped and there was a breeze.
It's cold. Did you feel it get colder? Do you feel the draft? Yeah.
Yeah, it just gusted through. So you can come in here.
please do.
We cannot come in there, but you can come in here.
We were no longer getting intelligent responses after this point, so I told everybody, let's pack it up. And right around the corner is where I experienced something very significant with the spirit of Richard Biegnenwald. My first time at this facility, I was here by myself in broad daylight, reaching out to his spirit, and the voice that showed up ran chills down my spine, and I immediately saw Richard's face in my mind's eye.
Furnace. Oh no, okay.
What made this disturbing to me is I didn't know what Richard looked like before that. And after this incident, I immediately went home and researched this entire case. And what I found most disturbing in trying to connect the dots with this is it's saying furnace before that, considering he was an arsonist obsessed with explosives and fire. He was even known to hire prostitutes and test out all of his homemade contraptions on them that would explode or cause fire. And he then disposed of the bodies in the woods around his house.
Furnace. Oh no.
To pinpoint it's saying furnace even more so is that this room Victoria is in right now doing the Estes method is the furnace room. The Estes or the Estes method is using a spirit box where only one person can hear. So Victoria has the headphones on and can hear the spirit responses, but not the questions we are asking. She has begun channeling, and eventually she starts taking notes and doing some what we call automatic writing, which is channeling through writing the messages and documenting what she's hearing. And that reveal will creep you out. But first, let's sit in on this session.
You can hear it. This way, I'm very scared.
Who are you talking to?
Of me? Of who? Of you.
How many spirits are in that room?
In here.
Yes, in there. How?
6, 5, 2.
Who's mainly speaking to us right now?
15. Eve.
I can kind of hear it too. That's that, right? Yeah. Why are you still hanging out here?
Leave. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Dumb. Idiot.
Oh, sorry. Have we met before?
Get out of here, girls. Please stop.
Do you not want us here? How many women are in here right now?
No.
The sound of a man moaning or yelling, we all heard it. And you can see Victoria react as she looks externally to see if it's coming from another speaker. And we all begin to check our devices. I had to get closer to make sure I wasn't hearing it from her headphones. And none of us can find the source of this yell.
Yeah, mine's off.
In this moment, I start to feel like I'm in a vice. Something feels off, and energetically, I feel like I'm in a whirlwind of energy and I'm stuck.
Are we still asking questions?
Yeah, hold on. I'm experiencing something.
Please remember that she says the word hunter because it's very important with what she's writing down in regard to timing, correlating with what I'm feeling with what she wrote previously to that word.
You're fucked.
Oh, great.
It's horrible. Someone speaking French.
Does the French spirit belong here or to somebody here?
Help me out. Please.
Did something bad happen to you here?
Lewis.
Lewis, can you come forward? Richard, are you here?
When I reveal after this what she wrote on that paper, you're going to see why she didn't say out loud what was being said. Probably so she didn't scare the newbies. If you heard that growling voice, I only heard it on playback, but you can see Victoria react to it right here. And she says something about a scream, but her voice sounds slurring to me, and that's when I think it's time to end this.
Is it just me or is she slurring?
She was mumbling.
Yeah.
I didn't like the energy. I didn't like how she was sounding, so I decided to go in and check on her and put a stop to this. And with when I see her paper and what's written on the top, I'm stunned.
They're saying a lot of stuff. They're saying a lot of weird stuff. More than like nice stuff.
While Jesse and Esotorica try to deduce the rest of this list, I'm not saying a word here. I'm just staring at the ICU and hearing that voice that has haunted me since it first occurred years ago when I was here. And this is how I know Richard was present, and I felt him. And so, not to freak anybody else out, I say nothing.
Because they were trying to scare me before. They were doing the ICU, and I was like, I don't care if you see me. I know you're here. Now they're talking about you. They're saying you.
Yeah.
I just kept saying, I see you. I kept saying, like, hunter, hunting, like, get us out, or stay with us. Like, you know, the typical.
Yeah, they're talking to each other probably too. This probably, you know.
It was a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
It was more like they were letting me hear their
What they
back
were
and
talking
forth. Like, they were just, like, like, they didn't want to, like,
Interact.
yeah, it was more like they wanted us to know what they wanted us to know, and then they were just talking amongst themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot of weird noises, a lot of weird, like, different sound noises, I'd say. Like, it sounded like the ocean in one part, which is really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just like this tapping, but not the normal, it wasn't the reverb tapping. It felt like someone was, like, tapping on my eardrum.
Well, I was asking them to knock and make like stuff like that too, so it could have been. That's why I was saying knock twice. You know, I kept saying that, so yeah.
Well, I was doing it twice in a row.
Okay.
It kept like being like da-da, right, and like a little break, and then I would do it again.
Okay.
At one point you like kind of grabbed your throat too, did you?
Yeah, something was like
If
up
you
in my shit.
if you see that again, you have to like let me know, like if stuff like that happens.
Okay.
Okay.
I just thought she just like got.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I mean, she's fine. It's just.
A big hand is what it felt like that.
Yeah, I think the arsonist was in here.
Yep. That's him, and he was mad that I wasn't scared. Because he kept being like, I see you, and he was like, I see you. And I was, every time I was like, I don't care. And then I felt that.
So.
Since Lisa and Rebecca were having a conversation outside of the room, I decided to let Jesse and Esotorica know about my experience with Richard in this room and explaining the ICU. After this, we packed up and we moved on to the next one, and on the way, we caught a throwback to the French spirit, and we caught this random clipping of the Eiffel Tower hanging up in one of the bathrooms. And I don't believe it's tied to any spirit in particular, really, that was bringing it up. I think it was more just a prophetic way of them telling us that they're going to be following us and knowing we were going to see this hanging up just down the hall. Next, we went to the opposite side of the building, and both Esotorica and myself were drawn to this very room. It seemed like it was a nurse's station of sort, but the signs that were hanging around said aggravated harassment evidence storage, and I immediately started setting up the Phasma box to see what we could get.
But then,
What do you need help with? Is somebody hurting you? Did anything bad happen in this room? Yes, what happened?
After spending about 20 minutes in here, I decided that I should separate because we weren't really getting answers. And I explained to them too, sometimes when you have too many living people huddled together in one space, that can scare off energetically other spirits. So this is just a tip too for other paranormal investigators out there.
Do you want me to stand out and they stay in here? I'll go stand in the middle of the hallway. I'll be over there. You let me know. One. Yep. One left. All right, I'm out here. Lights off. Can you push the red light, please?
God, she's so pretty.
I went out into the dark hallway with nothing, no camera, no phone, nothing. I left it all in that room, and I heard a male voice yell the F word at me from all the way down the hall, and that's when I called for Jesse.
Hey, Jesse, come out with the camera.
Where are you? Ugh. Are you over here? Where are you?
I'm out here.
Oh, I hate it out here.
I wish I had the camera when I heard that. Clear as day go down there. All right, now's your chance. You want to come down the stairs and talk?
I wanted to test and see if Richard was still with us, and I decided to use the same tactic that he used for me.
I see you.
And just to mark this, that shadow you see is me lifting up my hand.
Do you see me?
So I look over at Jessie in this moment, and she just did not look well to me, and I just started laughing.
You okay? Your face is like... We're in the hallway. Are we not supposed to be out here?
As we stand here, we suddenly hear something like a glass pop or a popping sound all the way down the hall, where I heard that one spirit say the F word.
You heard that?
Was that you guys that popped in there? Did somebody make like a popping noise? Like a... No. Okay. All right, where are ya? Come out. It's time. Time for recreation. Let's play. There's too many rules in this place. Oh, something totally just grabbed my ear. Did you hear it flick too?
No.
All right, let's play. Come on.
Don't be touching me now. Keep your hands to yourself.
That is not any of our equipment. No equipment we had made that sound. But sometimes Spirit loves to mess with audio, and we are using the Phasma box, so we are encouraging audio activity. And just to even elaborate on when I was touched, it felt like something lifted up my beanie and kind of tugged at like the tip of my ear.
Are you an animal or are you a person?
Yeah, what's going on with that noise? Not a fan. Are you chewing on a lollipop?
Well, I started to suspect maybe there was an animal loose in the building, even though it is pretty sealed up. This disembodied voice we just captured on audio that none of us heard with our own ears astounded me. I hear it clear as day when I played it back. This is not the Phasma box. You all have been hearing it this entire episode. The Phasma box has a lot of reverb to it. What we just caught was something that we only got on audio, and I will replay it for you right now.
Not a fan. Are you chewing on a lollipop?
Soon everybody joined us out here, and this light we're shining onto that room is the room we go into next. With me announcing it was now playtime, I think Spirit took this way too literally, and they decided to play something from Lisa's phone. Aww. That's not real. Is that Victoria or
No,
the sound?
No, that's coming from upstairs. Like moving. Yeah, it's upstairs. It's moving.
We had no idea where this music was coming from, and we figured that somebody was playing it up at the sports complex and somehow it was traveling down. And then Lisa realized it was some random song playing from her back pocket.
And it's the same. No. Oh.
Is it different? What song is it playing now?
I don't even know because there's no app open.
With this being the only thing that happened, we decided to leave the first floor and make our way up. And it happened again to Lisa's phone.
Started my phone. Like I restarted it.
Well, they want music.
That's my mission.
With this being Lisa's first ghost hunt and paranormal excursion with me, you can see her trying to make sense of it, and she just can't figure out what's going on with her phone.
There's no music app playing right now.
I believe we're in. I zoomed in to show you all just what she has open on her phone, and there's no music apps from what I can see. And while I can see this maybe happening once in her back pocket at the first time, the second time it happened pretty much while she was recording. It shouldn't have happened that second time. At this point in the night, towards the end, my camera had died, so now you're seeing this green lit footage because I'm taking it from my cell phone and using a colored light. We set up a REN pod on that chair in the middle of the hall to the right, and we got a response.
It's all female staff ready to join you guys. We're new here. If you're here, can you let us know and touch that red light?
At this point, Esotorica goes into the men's room, and the spirits didn't seem to like that too much.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Is she gonna be in there?
No, I'm just making a joke. It's going off. Hi, we're here. Thank you for welcoming us.
They're like, don't pee in our toilet.
Yeah, she's talking. Is she on the phone?
No, she's just talking to her imaginary friend. She's coming out of the bath. Was she not supposed to be in there?
Just stinks.
Were you in the men's room?
Yeah.
That's why they were yelling at you.
We tried to do other trigger scenarios about us being new teachers here or nurses, and they didn't want to play anymore on this floor, so we decided to head up to the 3rd floor where there's the chapel and usually some very interesting activity. This trip, however, to the chapel that I took was not very eventful, and I decided to try a divide and conquer route after attempting a few trigger scenarios and moving around energy. I told all of us to split up into different rooms and to run the Phasma box and see if we could get any intelligent responses.
Do you see us? Are you religious?
This response left me a little shell-shocked. 313 is my father's number, who passed 10 years ago, and his name was Jim.
Do you want us to come out of our rooms now? Is that okay?
With no further intelligent responses coming through, I decided to end this session on this side and try one more attempt before we had to go. So I took everybody to the opposite side into the side room and went by myself as they stood in the main room and attempted to get answers.
Spirits, if you're here, it's your last chance to communicate. So we've got a few devices, some equipment. I'm sure you've seen it. If you can interact with any of it, we would really appreciate it before we have to go. Not that one.
No further responses came through, but I wanted to take the time to sit with them for a moment and really thank the ones that were here that were not evil like Richard, the ones that were stuck here by circumstance or struggled with drug issues, and just wanted to thank all the good ones that might be still here.
We do want to thank you for letting us talk with you tonight. We really appreciate it. We're sorry for those of you who might be stuck here who don't deserve to be stuck here. I know it couldn't have been easy.
And for those of you who I know already are going to rush to the comments or to judgments about this and me being a psychic channel or a medium and not crossing spirits over. And I just want to take a moment to educate all of you that everything you see in the movies and on TV shows isn't how it works. With my practice, it takes rituals for days, and the spirit has to be willing to move on. Of course, you can cross over spirits that are harming you, but for the ones that aren't, it really isn't our place to play God with all of that and shove spirits into wherever we think we're shoving them, the light. And there's a whole rant I could go on about that, but I think it's extremely reckless for people to just do this on a whim and not really know what the heck they're doing. And you find this in a lot of New Age spirituality and in Hollywood and on TV shows. And I always try to reference to the general public, if you are going to think of Hollywood, think of the movie The Others. Those spirits didn't want to move on. They wanted to be together. And sometimes energy imprints can't be erased. After saying our thanks and goodbyes to the spirits here at Mid-Orange Correctional Facility, and I put up my strong boundary with Richard as I always do when I left, I made sure to cleanse everybody and myself before we left. And it was really a great night, and I'm sure I'll be back soon. Next week is a new adventure, so please like and subscribe. And if you can, leave a comment and let me know if you have any questions or locations you'd like for me to check out. I appreciate all of you if you're watching this far. I will see you all next week. Same channel, same witch, different haunted location.